Kristen here from Scooterbug Corner, and I am hopping on here to share a walkthrough of this journal here. This journal will be one of the journals that will be for sale on my Instagram page on March 26th, so make sure that you follow me over there so you can keep up with updates and the postings and participate in the sale if you wish. This is the only journal that is made like this style, and it's the first time I've ever made one of these, and I was pretty happy with how it turned out. This one's going to be called the Easter Vintage Doily. It will be $85 when the sale is live, and it has a pretty cool extra little feature in the back, which you will see if you make it to the end of the walkthrough. There are two signatures in this, the first being 44 pages, the second being 48 pages. It does have vintage chenille interior pockets. It's obviously stitched, vintage doily. It has this pretty trim on the side. Sorry, I've picked up some extras. It's the same fabric the whole way around. So there are vintage doily here, these two buttons to help hold it closed. This is a vintage doily, a felt flower that I've made, and some wire wrap beads for this dangle. If you don't like that on there, it's can totally be taken off if that's not your jam. So inside, like I said, this has two signatures, and you can see how full and beefy this is. And the fun part, this isn't the feature I was talking about, but the fun part here, as I totally destroyed my setup, you could use this extra little pocket over here to carry your writing utensils. So if you have rulers, if you have any of that extra stuff, it can fit over there. You can also tuck in any of the items that you're waiting to throw in your journal, like if you have your stubs, your receipts, your pictures, whatever they may be. So this one is Easter themed, journaling card in the front. It starts right off there with this, this is a printable of a vintage Easter card. On the back has a fabric flip that also has lace and this sequins glassine envelope. I'm trying to go fast because it is going to take a while. So here is this little tuck. This is an extra little notebook of lined paper. So this one lacks a lot of trims in it for the purpose of not getting so fat that you wouldn't be able to close it. So you can see a little chick detail down there. A journaling card tucked in here. But it has the rest of the normal kind of features that the other ones have had. I tried to stay lighter on the decorating, again, so that you can determine how fluffy you want this so that it will close. Here's some journaling cards, ledger paper, printables. So I thought this is fun. It's the middle of the signature. It has this egg garland here. Just some little flower ties here on the string. This is actually a tuck spot there. This is paper clipped in. It's a guest check that's been stitched and decorated. Here's a pretty lamb bottle cap charm, and it's got a wire wrap bead and a bow charm. Here's the other side of the stamped. So if you've watched any of the other journals, and I've talked about it, the bags have been embossed. So one side is polka dot, the other side is this very pretty flower, vintage dictionary papers. So again, you're probably noticing that a lot of the papers are the same. Trying to fit that back down in there. It's a tighter fit. This is a large journaling card. Coffee dyed paper, so you can see that it's got tuck spots. It's the mix of the old and the new. So these are some of the library cards that I designed. And then that's the end of the first signature, which has another one of the vintage, it's a digital, but it's a vintage Easter card. So over here, I have it clipped in. This is sort of my version of a specimen card that has pretty sequins butterflies in there. So here's a little bag. Here are those stitched paper, I don't want to call them paper pads, but I guess that's kind of what they are. Again, if you've watched any of my other journals, I talked about those. A folder, so here's a coffee dyed index card that I made and then added the Easter egg shapes. There's a cluster, you could tuck things under here. Here is really pretty vellum, grid paper. I just absolutely love how this coffee dyed paper turned out. You can see the doily pattern in it. I made the coffee dye papers. So here's a fun little extra feature. You take this off, this folds out, and so you have this butterfly 3D pop-up. Here's just some printed paper for journaling. You can journal here, and here's some small die cuts in there. So that was just a fun little feature that I've added into this journal. Here's another one of my clusters, a vintage doily. Obviously, stitching here is a little nice, fancy on my stitching machine. One of the library cards that I designed. Here's the center of the signature, which has a felt flower and then this pretty little bunny charm. Of course, his little bum there is a rhinestone. So this is clipped in on the other side. Here's just a tag, and then here is an envelope that I've made out of vintage map paper with this vintage doily. Over on this side, you can see what's tucked or clipped in. This pretty, if I have you on camera, you'd be able to see it better, huh? So here's this tag. You can tuck here, printed vellum to make this pocket. Here is another tuck spot. Here is another tuck spot. The tab kind of acting like that die cut, acting like a tab, or an tab. Goodness, going so fast I can't even find words. Sorry about that, guys. Here is an index card that has a doily and a stitch cluster. You might not be able to see the stitching super well because it's a very light pink. Kind of hard to pick up on the camera. Little paper clip there, and some more, just a little feature down there. Again, any of the washi that I add to my journals is glued down so that it will not come up. This is a ruffled napkin that has been stitched to add in. Here is, this actually will clip off. This is Velcroed closure. So you can totally remove this, right on the back, just keep it clipped in. You could glue it down if you wish, but just kind of an extra fun feature there. Here is a little tiny little book that's tucked in there. Some journaling cards, and then this fun little Easter pick. Other side of the doily. Other side this. This guy is an envelope that flaps open, so you could store things in here. Journal spot, and there is obviously the library card. And there's the end of that. Here is another stitched cluster large index card, and if you've made it to the end, you finally found out what the cool feature is on this one. So it is a writing board. So it tucks into the back of your journal. You can obviously take this out if you don't want it to be in there, but when you have a lot of embellishments in your journal and it's kind of hard to write, you tuck your writing board in, and now you have a nice hard surface for you to journal on. And it was made to fit in under the pages of the journal, so you can tuck this in and write on your pages without having to fight the fact that they're nice and embellished and fluffy. So I hope that you enjoyed this walkthrough. I like how this one turned out just because it's different. This is why I end up making so many of these, because I have too many ideas and want to just make them all. So anyway, I hope that you enjoyed that. Let me know what you think about this one. What were some of your favorite features? This one had a couple new things that I haven't incorporated in my journals before. I hope that you made it through to the end so that you could see the writing board. Let me know what you think about those. Is that something that you think I should add all the time to at least either my sales or my shop? And again, thanks for stopping by and hanging in there with me as I fumbled through that. Have a good day.